I think it's cost accounting firms, I'm not even kidding, like tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. Because the money isn't, if there was a reason they weren't going to buy, you will lose money. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder of Dream Firms, where we help you to create a hyper-profitable accounting firm with all the help you could ever need. And to do just that, we're going to discuss a very, very popular topic in the accounting, bookkeeping, and tax space. And that is, of course, about how to fix your proposal problem. And big hint, it's not a shiny software tool. It's not Ignition. It's not Anchor. It's not any of those. So what is the problem with proposals, proposal technology, and what are the solutions? So here is a conversation that I have on a regular basis with people who use proposal technology. I'll say, hey, wonderful accountant, how do you price your services? What are the factors that go into pricing? Usually it boils down to, I just try and figure out how complex it is, and then I base it off of that. That is almost always the answer. Now, sometimes there's some variation to it. Sometimes they go, I use fixed pricing, I use value pricing, I use some variation of those things. I use a hybrid method. But now the reason I'm zeroing in on like how do you price is that if you do not have a good understanding of what goes into your pricing model, proposal technology is not going to help you. Like you have to have a strong understanding of what determines your price, like what model you're using and how to actually apply it before you worry about getting into the technical nuances of what goes under what package and who should qualify for what package, and should we present all of the packages at once? Like this is getting so deep in the weeds. And I have literally hundreds upon hundreds of conversations every year in this capacity. And so this is after the advent of proposal technology. Many of these people are already buying these proposals technology softwares, or they bought these self-proclaimed pricing gurus services. And they are either more confused than they ever have been. They're not signing more deals. And oftentimes, if they are signing deals, they're not more profitable, or they're not even being done through the software. So it's just software bloat. So I look at that and I go, okay, what is the underlying issue? Okay, so the first one is you have to actually determine what pricing model you're using. And if you want to know what my preferred pricing model is, I have a lot of videos on this topic, but I can summarize it very simply. I like to base all pricing in logic. Okay. I don't like to do it super fancy. What is logical? Okay. What is logical is there's a certain percentage of a company's revenue that is allocated to accounting, bookkeeping, or tax, depending on how large the company is and depending on how many services they purchase or how many services you offer. And so this makes for a very simple formula. Okay, if a business is doing $1 million a year, it's not unreasonable to charge them 3% of their annual revenues for $30,000 per year divided by 12. You guys can do the math and go, that's your monthly price. It's super easy. It's super fast. And usually when I would say a number like that, most firms would be like, wow, you can get 30 grand for a company that size. I'd be like, yeah, that's totally normal. Like that's, how much does a bookkeeper cost? If you're doing bookkeeping and they're considering even a part-time bookkeeper, they're already spending 30 grand. That bookkeeper usually doesn't run payroll. That bookkeeper certainly not going to be responsible for filing taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so again, that is the simplest, fastest way that I like to use for determining pricing. But the next part of this problem is what we are kind of like saying, well, what are you doing in exchange for whatever the percentage is, or however you choose to price, hourly, fixed, but you have to go, what is the defined service model? Okay. I have this other thing that I love to talk about, which is deleting the scope creep beast, right? The scope creep beast is you sign a client for, package A, or you show them all the packages A, B, and C, and the client goes, I really like this aspect of B. I don't really need this in A. And so you end up with a merge thing. And then what ends up happening is the relationship goes on. The engagement letter, whatever package they buy, becomes sort of just like an afterthought, like a footnote. And then they start receiving other services because they asked for them or they thought they would get them, or you didn't want to point back to the contract to reinforce that, like, hey, you actually do not get tax projections, or you actually do not get fill in the blank with the thing that is being scope creeped over, right? Like, you don't really want to do that. And so the reason I bring up that example is that oftentimes we create complexity in our proposals by providing too many options. And when you're trying to position your firm as the solution, get paid premium price, and be seen not as a commodity, but as a specialist and as an advisor, the first step in being an advisor, okay, almost always the first step in being an advisor, is you have to admit you do not know what you do not know. And the first time you talk to a new client, you don't know their situation. You don't know it nearly well enough to know what the right service profile is for them, the right blend of services. And two, if you give the prospect the right to pick their own package, you have advised them on effectively nothing. And again, let me just put another sort of like caveat here. If my fancy proposal tool shows all three options and I just say, yeah, I think you should pick this one, and they don't pick it, was it really good advice? No. It was. They didn't even see you as an advisor to take your initial most important piece of advice seriously, which is, I know exactly what you need in terms of services. I know what's best for you. Buy this. And here's the crazy part, okay? If they just didn't even know about the other options, guess what they would have done? Bought the thing you told them to buy, because there were no other options for them to buy. They wouldn't even seen them. So this is the quintessential, like, if you introduce complexity into what could otherwise be simple, you will lose money. Like, money hates complexity. It just does. So avoid this as much as possible, okay? Another thing that comes up in the, like, what I'll just refer to as, again, package development, but really I refer to it as proposal purgatory, okay? So there's two types of proposal purgatory. Both are terrible, and most firms are stuck in one of these two, okay? Proposal purgatory number one is development, because you will develop something. Okay, you'll be like, okay, we're gonna realign our packages. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put this here. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put it there. We're gonna remove this, we're gonna add this. It's not valuable. People are saying it's too expensive, and so you may get some tiny piece of feedback when you go to implement it, and then you go back into development. And so your packages are always in a state of flux. They basically you're never satisfied with them, so you never really attempt to sell them in a meaningful way. Now, should your packages evolve? Of course. But the problem is people become obsessed with tweaking, and they think the package is the problem, when in reality, you're not speaking to enough prospective buyers. You're speaking to the wrong type of prospective buyers, and you're giving those prospective buyers too many options, and then you're getting ghosted by bad prospects who weren't going to buy in the first place, and you wasted all this time and energy, and then you waste more time and energy to go back around to proposal purgatory. You just go back into the development process, okay? Now, the fourth one that I mentioned there, okay, is the second type of proposal purgatory, which is just it's the worst, which is you are going to waste a lot of time getting ghosted by people / and or once you've developed a package that you really like. The other type of purgatory is you don't roll it out across all your clients. And so what ends up happening is like 10% have these old packages, 40% are on their legacy plan from like 15 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so since it's not, the whole point of the packages is to streamline how the business operates, to delete scope creep, but then we just don't evenly apply it across the board, especially for older clients. And so the purgatory is like, you're trying to move your firm into the future, But in reality, you have this ball and chain that's attached to your ankle that you have the key for, which is just implementing your packages systematically across all clients and not giving them optionality. And you can unlock it, but you don't. And so you just keep looking forward, and then you fall back into recycling your packages over and over again. And here's the thing, these software companies, they're happy to keep you here. That, like, the more you feel like you need to tweak these things, the more money they make. Like, you feel invested to keep all these things, but if they're not moving the needle, you don't need them. You don't need them. And here's the other crazy part. A lot of the, I'll just say the better CRMs out there, they already do proposal technology. Like, you're usually spending for a +1 tool at a premium price. I saw the price for Ignition the other day. I was like, whoa, this is not, this is a pretty spicy meatball in terms of the price. And I'm just like, not really sure I see the value, especially like when our clients come to us. I'm like, are you using it? How many proposals have been sent through it? How many have been signed through it? And they kind of are just like, I don't know, I'm paying for it. Like, I'm not, have you run all your old clients through it? And they're like, not really, no. And then we onboard them to dreamleads.app, and we're like, look, do you see that, like, we can do this? We got e-signatures, you can send proposals, you can get paid through it. And they're like, oh, I can have everything synced in here, including contact data, including the client journey, yeah, of course, because that's what a CRM is supposed to do. It's not supposed to have that be separated. So anyway, the point is like, even if you have a sunk cost into the development of these, or you feel like you've spent money on them, it's okay to leave it behind. It's okay. It's totally fine. And I'm going to close this video out with the most effective way to just, like, get paid faster. Okay, to not waste your time with people who were never going to buy in the first place. Because even if you choose to keep buying proposal tech, feel free, right? Like, some people love it, and more power to them. But I know the majority don't. Like most software, right? Like most users, like, they buy it, it sounds great, tough to implement for one reason or another, and usually it's tough to implement just because it's not necessary. And so here is the easiest way to do this, okay? Like, bar none. When you have a new prospect, you always sell them the same thing. Like, every prospect should be sold the same first thing that they buy, should always be the same. And it goes back to what I said earlier. An advisor admits they know that they do not know. A doctor admits, I don't know what medication is right for you. A mechanic will admit, I don't know what's wrong with your car. I haven't run it through a diagnostic. I have no idea. I don't have your blood samples yet. I don't know the labs. They haven't. I haven't looked at your QuickBooks. I haven't looked at your returns. I haven't seen the IRS notices. I have no idea. It's a reasonable place to start, but it's also an unreasonable place to start if you do what I consider to be high value services for free. It's a bad way to start. Okay. That's not the same thing as saying, like, you've got to pay me for every single second I'm on the phone. It's saying, before pen goes to paper, before my expertise gets applied to analyzing your situation and giving you solutions, I deserve to be paid for the right to run you through this proprietary process. Now, how much you get paid is up to you, but keep it simple. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Like, I wouldn't go much more than that unless you have a really involved process. But most firms, they're not collecting $1 to $3K for all new clients before they become monthly. They're not doing that. And so you have this immediate influx of cash, and it also filters out tire kickers and price shoppers immediately. There's no need to send proposals to people who were unwilling to spend just $1,000 to access your expertise. There's no reason. It's a waste. And so if you build on that, what happens? You've now been paid for what you would normally have done for free, and or you have now filtered out people who are going to be a waste of time. And so you can take that time savings and you can apply it into, cool, Let me understand their situation really well. Let me make sure that they get the A+ proactive experience that shows how awesome we are for whatever the deliverables are associated with this $1,000 intro product. And then when I give them the deliverables, I'm also going to tell them this is the perfect thing for you. Now, this is where the magic happens, okay? When I go to give them the deliverables, do I present options? No. What would be the point of the analysis for me to be like, pick between these 10 medications? I recommend this one, but you can pick between the 10. I'd be like, yeah, this is the one for you. Take this one. Mechanic be like, yeah, this is the problem. They're not gonna be like, well, you can pick between these 3 air filters. I don't know, whatever mechanics do, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. Go, this is the thing. This is how much it costs. Would you like me to implement and install it? Yes. Great. Hey, this is your situation. This is your goal. This is the gap. And based on what I know about your situation, given how much research and effort we've put into it, this is the perfect plan for you. This is the thing moving forward. Here's how much it would cost. Here's what it takes to clean up all of the IRS notices or the back work or the back file taxes, whatever. These are all the other things that we have to account for. What do you think? Now, you might say, but Tyler, that sounds like it's very customized. Doesn't that mean that there's going to be, every client is going to have a completely unique thing? Here's the beautiful thing. This is the magic, okay? Not at all. It doesn't mean that at all. Because here's the real. Package development is an internal thing, okay? In other words, when I say this is the perfect plan for you, it is still one of the 3 plans I've already meticulously spent time developing. I already know. It's just 1, 2, or 3. And I'm like, cool, this is a 2. Cool, this is a 3. This is a 1. But I don't show them 2 or 3 if they're a 1. I just tell them this is the thing. This is the perfect thing for where you are and what you need based on all the work we did. And so why do I need proposal technology if I just have already charged them it's one thing, and then when I go to sell them the next thing, it's one thing. It's just an engagement letter at this point and setting up the payment terms. Again, simplicity beats complexity. Like, you want to make it easy to sign clients. And I understand that proposals have been able to create the idea that you don't need to learn sales skills. Like, you don't need to ask people for money. But here's another enormous problem. Okay. A lot of people who would have been clients, if you had asked them to buy, you have no idea why they did not buy when you left it to a proposal only. Like, when you get ghosted by someone that you thought was a great prospect, don't just assume the worst about them. Oh, they were really just actually a tire kicker or a price shop. A, they were a value shopper. B, if there was a reason they weren't going to buy, you have no idea what it is because you didn't ask them to buy, and then they disappeared. If you're on the phone or you're presenting your deliverables from your first sale, and you ask them to buy the first time, or you ask them to buy the next time to level up their service plan, move into a monthly relationship, they have to tell you no or yes, or they have to try that's the nature of it. And that market data is invaluable. I cannot properly put a price tag on how valuable it is for someone to tell you, I don't see the value in it. Or for someone to say, I think it's too expensive, or, I don't think I need all of this, or it's invaluable, because they're the people that you want to buy from you. Their opinion matters more than the pricing gurus. It matters more than mine. It matters more than yours. It's the only opinion that actually matters to help you grow your business, is what your prospects think when you ask them to buy. But if you don't hear it, you can't actually adjust. You can't make the necessary determinations or changes. So avoiding that conversation, I think, has cost accounting firms I'm not even kidding, like tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. Because the money is in the no's, it's in the maybes. That most firms collect the sales from the easiest clients, like the 10% who are going to buy anyway, right? 10% we're going to buy no matter what you said. 10% we're never going to buy no matter what you said. It's the 80% in the middle, which is where people are either killing it or they're just completely losing it. And I want you to be killing it, right? And part of being able to like kill it in the marketing, client acquisition game is looking at your sales process and going, where is technology 100% necessary and where is it superfluous? Where does it actually take away from the impact of what we do? Where does it take away? And again, if I'm trying to position myself as an advisor, the last thing I want to do is pass the power over to the buyer to pick what they think is best when they have no idea what they need when it comes to their accounting, bookkeeping, and tax needs. Because if they did know what they need, guess what they would be? An accountant or a bookkeeper or a tax preparer. So I hope you enjoyed this. And again, if you would like more assistance when it comes to the various ways to approach the pricing conversation, proposals, as well as getting out of proposal purgatory and into what will be your dream firm, click the link down below. We'd love to help you guys out. Obviously, that's what we do here. And only you can create your dream firm. But we are here to help you every single step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your workday. And I hope if you find yourself in proposal or pricing purgatory, that this video has helped you get your way out. Have a wonderful rest of your workday, and I'll see you all soon.